Page 49, Song for a Scarecrow. At the top of the page, they're introducing you to that one chord. It looks like an I chord. It's actually a Roman numeral. See, we got a lot of numbers in music. What they mean depends on where they are. In some cases, it's well, to make it even more interesting, we need more numbers than that we've covered so far, and this is one of those times. So we use Roman numerals to identify chord numbers. Chords are numbered. Let's go back to the C scale I talked about on a previous video, where we talked about tonic and dominant and steps of the scale and all that. Well, I can build a chord, 3 notes, every other note. I can build that on each step of the scale. In C major, it would be that. And then back down to the first one. You know, the steps are numbered, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Well, chords are the same numbering system. So one chord is built on the first step of the scale, step 1. 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, and so forth. So to identify the number for the chord, we use a Roman numeral. So we're not talking about step 1, 2, 3. We're talking about chord 1, 2, 3. However, it's the same step. I mean, one chord is built on step 1, but we don't use a Roman numeral to identify a step. The Roman numeral is used to identify the chord. So when you see Roman numerals, and they'll appear at the bottom, underneath the bottom staff, that's the chord number. Well, then you got to know what key you're in, because all the different keys have their chords for that key. So just to say play one chord is not, it doesn't mean anything unless you know what key you're in. It's a one chord of what key. It's like we said, it's tonic chord. That's a one chord, tonic chord. But you got to know what key you're in to know which tonic chord you're talking about. So the one chord is a tonic chord. That's just another name for it. A one chord or a tonic chord, you'll hear both. Either one. You never know what you're going to hear. The idea is you understand what you're hearing when people talk about it. And that's really what it is. We're just dealing with a one chord. Look at Song for a Scarecrow. In the left hand, that chord, that C chord, it's a tonic chord. There's a bell on the first step. It's a one chord in C major. Look at the last measure of the first line, this chord. That's not a tonic chord anymore, it's something else. I'll talk about that later when we get to the something else. Right now, just know it's not a tonic chord. The only tonic chords in here are those chords with a C, E, and a G. That's it. Anything else is not a tonic chord. If I go down to the bottom, first measure here, that's still a tonic chord. It's a broken chord, but it's still a tonic chord. But then the next measure, the F, that's not even a chord, so never mind. And the next measure, the G's, that's not a chord, it's a single note. Next measure, the F, G, that's a different chord. We'll get to that later. And then the last two measures, that's a tonic chord. Broken chord, this time we went down instead of up. That's okay. You'll get the idea as we get more into it. But just understand what a one chord is. It's the same thing as a tonic chord. It's built on the step 1 of a scale. Now, for Song for a Scarecrow, 3/4 time. Talk about the right hand. You've got third finger on E up here. That puts you in C position up here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Don't say anything hard about this rhythm. Hopefully you get the rhythm okay. They throw you a curve in the second line. First measure, you see the sharp sign. Remember sharp signs? If you don't, please go back and review them because it's important. Sharps and flats, you got to know these. In that first measure of the second line, it's an F, E, and that D, instead of a D, it's a D sharp. So instead of the D, you're going to go D sharp. And the rest of it's straightforward, I think, for the right hand. The left hand keep the left hand soft because it's and again it's staccato. So you're on here, these fingers are down, you're resting there, and you just push down and bounce off. Nice and short. Last measure, these two fingers are down, first and second fingers, and you just bounce off. Try and get them down at the same time if you can't. Good luck with that. Put them together. Just count it out carefully. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you play all the rests. Gotta be quiet when there's a rest. Now they don't give any phrasing in here. Those curved lines you see are all slurs. They're just telling you to play legato, which you'd do anyway without it, but there's no phrasing. So I suggest you follow the sentences in the words, phrase it accordingly. For instance, in the first line, between the last two measures, they put in a comma. I would phrase it like that. So I would lift up on that C and then next to the last measure of the first line a little early. So we get a little silence before I do that. I'm watching the corn grow. Second line is between the third and fourth measures, between grow and wish. I put in a little silence there for the phrase, and I think then it's all one phrase after that. Dynamic wise, I don't like they're giving two dynamics. Let's talk about that a little bit. At the beginning, they've got an MF under the top staff and a P above the bottom staff. They're telling you, play the stuff in the top staff, medium loud. You decide what medium loud is. I don't know. Somewhere it's a little softer than loud, but it's louder than medium soft. And blech. But the bottom staff, play that soft. What they should do, in my opinion, or what's correct, is they give you one dynamic in the middle between the staves. In this case, it would be an MF. You don't need the P, and you know to bring out the melody. Melody, you can figure it out. It's in the upper staff. That's the melody. That's the melody. So keep everything else soft. That's all it is. One. Etc. You thought I'd play the whole thing, didn't you? No, I deliberately don't. I seldom play the whole thing or play it for you on these, because what you'll do is what everybody does, and what I did when I was first learning, is you'll just simply copy me. It's easier to listen to somebody and then just ape what they do or copy what they do. I want you to read the music and figure it out on your own and discover what it sounds like on your own. Then go listen to other people and compare what you're doing to what they're doing, because maybe they are doing something you like and you'll incorporate that into what you're doing. But at least make a stab at playing it yourself first and see if you can figure out what it sounds like on your own. Let's play this together very slowly. I'm not going to do the dynamics. You can do that. You can put in the phrasing. I hope by then, I really need to explain that every time. I hope not. If I do, then you'll need to go back and review. Keep going back and reviewing. Listen to the videos. You'll pick up stuff you missed the first time through. If you're like me, you daydream a lot, and I miss stuff. That's my excuse. I'm going to give us 3 counts. Let's do this together slowly. The right hand C position here, and the left hand C position here. 1, ready, go. One, two, three,